Good morning. We are going to bake a focaccia bread today with a deep taste of olive oil, and the flavor of oregano and the smell of oregano makes it a very special bread. Goes beautifully with a dip of extra virgin olive oil or salsa or olive oil in balsamic vinegar. I also love it with a dip of chili oil. So today we are going to bake two rolls. Total preparation time is between 2.5 to 3 hours. Baking time is about 15 to 20 minutes. So let's bake. So to start, I've got this plastic Tupperware tub, which is about 2 liter in size. It's rectangular. You can have a square one if you wish. And I have lined it with a bit of olive oil in it. I have got 500 grams of strong bread flour. So besides the olive oil, I have got 10 grams of salt. I use low sodium salt. You can use normal salt. I have got about 10 to 12 grams of instant yeast. I have also have 150 ml of olive oil, some of which I have used already to line the Tupperware I just showed you. I've got dried oreganos, again from the supermarket. I also have very coarse sea salt, bit of semolina, which I'm going to use for sprinkling on top and also for kneading. You don't need to have semolina if you don't have any at home. Just use normal flour that we are using. We are going to put salt on one side and yeast on the other side. Make sure you don't put them together, otherwise the yeast will die because of the salt. I'm going to add about 40 ml of olive oil, and I'm going to add about 150 ml of cool water from the tap and start mixing this. You will probably need more water or sometimes a bit less water. Total water I have in there is about 300 ml in there, depending on the flour you're using, how much gluten you have in the flour. So just going to mix it up, keep adding some more water until I have got a rough dough and all the flour inside the plastic bowl has been picked up. As you can see, I got a rough dough here. All the flour has been picked up from the bowl. Bowl is quite clean over there, almost clean. I'll put this on the side, the bowl, and tip some olive oil on my worktop. Spread it so my dough does not get stuck. Now I'm going to start kneading this dough. So as you know how to knead it, just spread it with your palm of your hand, roll it in, turn it around and spread it again. Roll it in, turn it around, spread it in. So I'll knead this for 10 minutes until such time that the dough is nice and elastic and smooth. So I've been kneading it for about 10 minutes now, and you can see the dough is very soft and silky, very smooth and silky. So I'm going to put this into our plastic Tupperware that we have just made. So there's our plastic Tupperware. Just going to put the dough in there. So I'll leave it in there for about hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to cover it with a tea towel and see you back in hour and a bit, until the size of the dough is at least 2 or 3 times what it is at present. So my dough been rising for just over an hour and 10 minutes or so, and looks pretty well risen. You can see it's about 3 or 4 times the size it was when we started. So I got a work surface here, which I'm going to cover with drizzle of olive oil. Spread it around. And I'm going to put a fair bit of semolina on it so my dough does not get stuck. And semolina gives a very nice texture to the bread as well. So there's a bit of semolina on top. Now I'm going to tip this gently on top of my worktop, because I do not want the air to be knocked out, so don't knock it too much. And once it's on the surface, I'm going to cut it in two, and I cut it longitudinally like this. So I've cut the dough into two equal halves, sharp knife. And after this, I've got two baking trays here with baking paper on top, one here and one here. And I'm going to drizzle some olive oil on the paper on both the trays. Spread it. And once this is done, I'm going to move one of these onto my baking tray, each baking tray, and then shape it. And I'm going to flatten it a little bit. Don't flatten it too much because you don't want to knock all the air out. So there we are. We have got two rolls on baking paper lined with olive oil. I'm going to put each of these into a plastic bag and leave it for another 1 hour to rise a little bit more. It's quite flat. So there is one plastic bag. Using it, and same with the second dough. At 45 minutes, I'm going to switch my oven on, and my oven, because it's a fan oven, will be at 200 degrees centigrade. If you have a non-fan oven, then you need to be at 220 degrees centigrade. If you have a gas oven, it's gas mark 7, and if you have a Fahrenheit oven, it's 425 degrees Fahrenheit. So my dough been in the bag for about an hour. So let's take it out, see what it looks like. So you can see pretty big over there. And now what we are going to do, I got this wooden spoon here with a little rounded end at the bottom. You can just use your finger. I'm going to just make some holes in it. So go through and through all the way down. And on top of it, I'm going to drizzle some olive oil. Good drizzle of olive oil. That's what's giving you the lovely taste of the Mediterranean. I got some dried oregano here, so going to sprinkle some oregano on top. Again, this is going to give you a beautiful aroma and flavor of the bread. Going to do the same with the other dough. Again, holes in there. Drizzle of olive oil. So in the beginning of the bake, I took out about 150 ml of olive oil. I still got some left in my jug here, and I think I have used in total about 140 ml of it. You might use a bit more, might use a bit less, but that is the approximate amount you will need for the whole bake. So I put olive oil, again bit of oregano, and after the oregano, lastly I'm going to sprinkle some coarse sea salt on top. This will give you a nice crunch and lovely salty taste on top of it. And it will go into the oven for about 15 minutes. I'll check it in 15 minutes just to make sure the bottom feels hollow. so it's fully baked. And if it takes extra few minutes, if necessary, in it goes, and in goes the second one. So I shall see you after 15 minutes. So there we are. I've taken it out of the oven exactly 15 minutes. The color looks nice and looks quite hollow. Bottom feels quite hollow. So I think they're done. I'm going to let them cool down on the wire rack for 15-20 minutes and then have a taste. So it's been cooling down for about 15 minutes, and you can see it's a lovely texture inside, and it's very nice, very lovely, baked all the way through. Just have a taste of it. So I got some chili oil here, and I'm going to try and dip it in chili oil. Taste of it. Wow, lovely taste of the Mediterranean. Extra virgin olive oil with some balsamic vinegar. Little dip. Oh, that's absolutely gorgeous. So do try this bread. It's lovely, lovely bread, lovely recipe, and I hope you enjoy it. Until next time, see you soon.